this is Turkey once again, and once again I'm speaking to you in my role as head and all chief of the Stochastic Intelligence Agency, and as the head and all chief and all chief head and all chief director head of the Stochastic Intelligence Agency. Today I want to discuss a way to communicate to a contacting V through theta the need to record in his manner of recording historical information, and perhaps this request from the audience out there also relates to my former role as spokesperson for the American Cultural Tradition and Cultural Memory Complaint Department. And of course, right now we are in a stage in which the American cultural memory is being brainwiped, and one of the ways that is happening is that information pertinent to the American cultural tradition and American history is being erased, as it was in Nazi Germany when Hitler and the fascists took over. Just saying. Anyway, so today we noticed on NPR, which recently has sold out with the rest of them and done away with its DEI program. So we're not particularly fond of endorsing PBS at this time. However, there is still some relevant information being disseminated by PBS, former proponents of the DEI program, that is disabilities related and culturally disadvantaged related and exclusion related attempts to equalize the employment opportunities for individuals that have been discriminated against due to whatever positionality that society deems it okay to neglect and reject. And so once again, we are not endorsing PBS. We are merely using information provided by PBS. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and click. I'm going to go ahead and change this channel. We're going to a different page. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here we go. And we're going now. Okay, so here we are, and this is the information that I think we need to record in our archives because it is being raised. And as former spokesperson for the American Cultural Tradition and/or Cultural Memory Complaint Department, this would be a complaint that I would make, that this information is being erased. So what exactly is being erased? Well, according to Tom Dreisbach, the records of certain individuals pertaining to the January 6th, 2021 riots and attempted coup are being erased from government websites. And that, of course, is no surprise, and we have been warning against that from the very outset of the Trump presidency, since Mr. Donald J. Trump seems to have a penchant for narcissistic authoritarianism and fascism. Yes, indeed. So it says here in this article that a screenshot showing Glen Simon. So this is the memory that we want to retain, a memory of Glen Simon, highlighted in the red triangle. There you can see him quite clearly. So you get an idea of exactly what he looks like from this image. And a photo in the case against Glen Simon. Oh, let's see. Let me start again. A screenshot showing Glen Simon highlighted in the red rectangle. That's a rectangle, not a triangle, by the way. The red rectangle entering the U.S. Capitol Rotunda on January 6th, 2021. Prosecutors cited this photo in the case against Glen Simon. A coalition of media organizations said Tuesday that video evidence from Simon's case had disappeared from as in they put the bags over your head and you disappear. But in this case, they're erasing the relevant information of criminal activity on the part of this individual. Disappeared from a government platform. Attorneys for a group of news organizations, including NPR. Did I say PBS? I meant to say NPR. PBS is a public broadcasting system. NPR is let's see if they have it on their site. NPR is National Public Radio. Do they say that it is? National Public Radio. Oh, remember how we communicated to a contract in V through theta? What BAM meant? We can discuss this later, but I think a contract in V through theta knows that NPR stands for National Public Radio, and he might not need that information. We said PBS. Why did we say PBS? Let's try to figure that out. What does PBS represent that we wanted to communicate? PB, Public. PBS. Let's see. There must be something going on with PBS. This is a little bit of a side, but let's go ahead and check that out. Okay, so I'm going to click, open up a new window. We're going to look at PBS. All right, let's see what's going on with PBS. PBS. PBS Kids. PBS. Let's just try PBS. And then we'll do PBS Return, and then we'll go to News. PBS News. Oh, okay, so let's see what it is. So, this must have been in the back of my mind, maybe unconscious or subconscious. PBS shutters DEI office. Oh, so here they go, falling one by one. So, what does this say? PBS is shuttering its diversity, equity, and inclusion. I think we discussed the meaning of that. So if you wanted to communicate to a contract in V through theta, what DEI stands for, it's diversity, equity, and inclusion. And you might be able to communicate that to a contract in V through theta through the acronym PBS. So look for a space-time. Let's not do that today. That's pretty complicated. We've got a lot going on our plate, and we're already doing this digression into PBS to point out the fact that PBS is shuttering its diversity, equity, and inclusion, that is DEI, after President Trump last month issued executive orders aimed at curtailing DEI workplace initiatives. Let's see what's the date on this one. This is, of course, February 11th. That was yesterday. No wonder it was on our mind. There she is. CEO Paula, what is her name? Purger. Purging DEI, that is, as we informed you, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And there she is, purging. The purger. So, PBS would be, if you wanted to communicate this message to a contract in PSftACT, PBS is just one more way of sorting collaborators from resistors. This would be an example of a collaborator. Okay, so let's close that out. I think we justified our confusion over PBS, that is Public Broadcasting System, and NPR, which is National Public Radio. It was a voice in the wilderness of our unconsciousness, demanding to be heard. All right, back to us, Turkey. There we are. Okay, so we're in the midst of discussing how to communicate to a contract in PSftACT that we need to record the events of Glen Simon since they are being erased. So let's go back to the disappearance of the information regarding Mr. Simon. Here it is, and take a look at that information once again. There he is in the red rectangle, not triangle, rectangle, and there's his name, Glen Simon, and let's see what he said he did. All right, so this may help us. Oh, there's another picture of him. This might even be easier to identify Glen Simon from this picture, which is even clearer than the other picture. All right, so it says, the missing evidence consists of 9 video exhibits from the Justice Department's case against Glen Simon, who pleaded guilty, to a charge of disorderly and disruptive conduct in a restricted building or grounds. Simon, just like that game, Simon Says. So if we can look up Simon Says, and if we have a Simon Says playlist or individual track, that would be the communication coordinate. So we'll start with that. Okay, Simon said as part of his plea that he pushed against police officers with a metal bike rack, stormed the U.S. Capitol, and recorded himself saying, this is what a revolution looks like, and we gotta show these F asterisk, 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 asterisk. We ain't F asterisk, 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 asterisk around. It's the only way to get it done. Oh, fear. He wants to inspire fear. Well, we know that a contract in PSftACT really rejects the idea of fear, so we could begin there. But I like the idea of beginning with Simon Says. So let's go ahead and go to, I'm going to switch the window. Are you ready? I'm going to go to the space-time travel communication coordinate list. And we'll start with Simon Says, and we'll go from there, and come up with possible ways of referring to the name Glen Simon as something that a contract in PSftACT needs to record for posterity in order to preserve the American cultural tradition and cultural memory, both of which are under attack and assault by the new neo-fascist government. All right, very good. So here we go. Let's try. Let's start with Simon Says. Simon Says, and no results found for Simon Says in your library. Okay, so that's a dead end. All right, so let's try Simon. That's his last name, Simon. All right, so we have Carly Simon, Nina Simone. I don't think Nina Simone was not close enough. Simon and Garfunkel. Simon Barker. That's interesting. Let's see. Any other real Simons or just Simones and other stuff? All right, let's see. Harper. Oh yes, Simon House, Simon King. Buddy Bunny, Simon, and let's do all the Simons. Let's skip Nina Simone because she's not really a Simon. All right, so let's try Carly Simon. See if there's any information in there. That's the way I've always heard it. The right thing to do. Mockingbird, legend. Now, if we want to go with Carly Simon, we might use this one, legend in your own time, because you'll notice here his first name, Glen, is included in this part, legend, and there's a few extra letters in there. So it'll be Glen. Let's see what it would be. So there's the Glen. Glen ED in your own time. Glend in your own time. Carly Simon. Then you got an extra Carl here. Carly, actually. It's funny that I said Carl. Carl is, of course, the personal name of at least part of the set, a contract in PSftACT's father, if that makes any sense. And that's why a contract in PSftACT doesn't refer to himself as, or themselves as Carl, but rather his middle name, their middle name, Bruce, because he doesn't particularly like his father. We can perhaps get into that some other time. Let's see if there's anything else. Well, if we're going to use this one, I would suggest this one, legend in his own time, in your own time. So let's see where we can find that. All right, now that's in the simple playlist. Scrolling down. Scrolling down, still scrolling. There we go, scrolling. Okay, so that's number 1. We're going to start with the initial unit. And go from there. That's 36. Okay, looks like it's somewhere in the middle of 36 and 72. So let's just go ahead and count that out. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. Okay, 54. Let's go ahead and write that down. 54, before we forget. I'm going to get out a little pen and write that out. 54. I'm writing 54. This is Carly Simon. Legend, which includes the word Glen. And of course, we got that Simon, Glen Simon. Legend in your own time, 54. And let's just, let's see where that is. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 54, 4. So, if you want to communicate to, and I should say it quieter, really, I shouldn't be talking so loud in case a contract can feed through theta hears all this. If you want to communicate to a contract can feed through theta, that a contract can feed through theta needs to record for the cultural memory that it was Glen Simon who pleaded guilty to assaulting police officers whose record is being expunged from the government records. That's Glen Simon, and the communication coordinate for that is Carly Simon's Legend in Your Own Time, and that's simple. That's simple. Formerly simple. Now complex, because we changed the complex to the even more complex space-time travel communication coordinate set. So this is the complex, not the even more complex, but the complex space-time travel communication coordinate set. 54. 4. 54, that's 4. So you would express that by getting those numbers to say 5, 4, 4. Okay, so let's go on. Okay, another one. Let's see. Simon. Oh, let's go back. All right, Carly Simon. Simon and Garfunkel. Okay, so Simon and Garfunkel. Let's see what we got here. So under Simon and Garfunkel, we got Mrs. Robinson. I don't think that would do it. Hey, Mrs. Robinson. I'm not sure that he would get that one. For Emily, no, probably not. The boxer, no, that's contract confused with theta. Not Glen Simon. The 59th Street Bridge. No, I don't think so. Sound of Silence. That might work. The Sound of Silence, because they're being silenced. But I don't know. It's a difficult one. Let's look up the lyrics to the Sound of Silence and see if that works. Okay, so. Oh, we're back. There he is again. Hello, it's Glen Simon. My records are being expunged. All right, so here we are. Sound of Silence, which is also SOS. Oh, I like that. Okay, so does anyone remember what the acronym SOS means? So we've discussed the acronym. We've discussed the acronym BAM. We've discussed the acronym NPR. We've discussed the acronym PBS. We should discuss the acronym SOS. So, Sound of Silence. Let's see if this is going to work. Oh, I got to put lyrics. Sound of Silence. And then we'll look up SOS, what that means. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In silent dreams, I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, near the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp, and when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence in the naked light, I saw 10,000 people, maybe more than 10,000 people talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that were never shared, and no one dared. Oh yes, so the no one dared refers to the fear, right? The fear in Glen Simon. You recall that Glen Simon wants us all to be afraid, and no one dared disturb the sound of silence. I like this. Fools, said I. Fools! I said fools! You fools! Break the sound of silence! You do not know silence like a cancer grows. Oh, this is so good. Oh, because of the erasure of the information and the silencing that they attempt to do with the fear. And I said, fools, speak loudly. You do not know silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words, like silent raindrops, fell and echoed in the wells of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god. This is perfect. To the neon god they made, and the sign flashed out its warning. That was me. That was Turkey. I was flashing out my warning. In the words that it was forming when the sign said the words of the prompter while written on the subway walls in tenement halls and whispered in the sound of silence. Okay, so this is going to work. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to Simon and Garfunkel. And this is the way that you might want to communicate to a contract and feed through data using the second Simon that he needs to record for posterity's sake and the American cultural tradition as well as the American cultural memory. The fact that Glen Simon attacked police officers in the Capitol building and that information is being expunged from our memories. All right, so let's go back to Four Non-Blondes. Now, I'm sure this group, Four Non-Blondes, is just a joke and nothing against blondes in particular, you know, or in general, but so let's not be offended by that. If you're a blondophile, like Leon Mosquito. Alright, so that's 36. Oh, you know how we can do this? We have committed to memory the fact that the Hasidic New Wave, the first entry for Hasidic New Wave is 144. And so let's begin with 144, so we don't have to count out the first 4 values. Alright, so that's 144. 144 plus, should we get a calculator? Maybe we should. Let's see, here's a calculator. clear. 144 plus 36 equals 180. Let's listen to Williams. Let's get back to the calculator. Plus 36 equals 216. POD, another acronym. Does anyone out there know what this means? POD, anyone? POD, POD, of course, stands for pay on demand. Let's see, where were we? Let's go back to our calculator. $252. Robert Plant. Let's see. Go back to our calculator. Plus 36 equals 288. We're at 288. I think Simon and Garfunkel are coming up. Yes, there they are. All right, so what was it? 288. Okay, so 288. Let's count it out. 289, 290, 291, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 300, 301, 302. All right, let's write this down. Simon and Garfunkel. That's the complex, not the even more complex space-time travel communication coordinate. What was it? 302. I believe it was 302. Let's count it again, just to make sure. 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. So that's 300. 1, 2, 302. That's correct. Right, and then let's go ahead and go into the playlist. Going into the Simon and Garfunkel playlist. There it is. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 302-5. So that would be, if you wanted to communicate with contract entity through data, that we need to record the name of Glen Simon as someone who contributed to the insurrection and attempted revolution and terrorism and destruction of government property and assaults on police officers on January 6th, 2001. One of the means of doing that would be through space-time travel complex, not even more complex, space-time travel communication coordinate number 302-5. So the number that you want to communicate on the views is 30. So no views. That's gonna be hard. I would suggest 30. I would suggest 30 because 0 is hard. Once there are views, you can't get it back to 0, and there are usually at least one view. So try this one. Try this number. Use this number. 30. 2, 5. There you go. 30, 2, 5. Let's underscore the fact that you try to go for that. 30, not that 0. All right, very good. All right, let's see. Okay, so that's Simon. Let's see. Go back to Simon. All right, Simon Barker. Let's see if there's anything in here. The story changes. Oh, I like this one. The story changes. Simon Barker. Now this, I don't believe we have a Simon Barker playlist at this time, but we have a Henry Kaiser playlist. So let's go to the Henry Kaiser playlist and see what the story changes is. So we could use this. Let's see. 36. Oh, Henry Kaiser. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57. Simon Barker. The story changes. This is the even more complex space-time travel communication coordinate set, remember? So, Simon Barker, and we're going to look under Henry Kaiser. The story changes. That was what, 57? Let's see, 36? 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. Is that correct? 56. Let's try it again. 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. Okay, so I guess it's 56. So we have to turn that into a 9 because our grammar is if 6 was 9 and if 9 was 6. So space-time travel coordinate number 59. And let's see what number it is in the Henry Kaiser set. Let's find it first so we don't overlook it later. There it is. The story changes. All right, very good. Let's go back up to the top. you'll recall that each of these, if we place the set correctly, is 18, 36, 54, 72. So it's 72 minus 1. Okay, that's 71. So the second number, if you want to communicate to a contract in feature theta, that we need to record for the sake of American cultural memory, the fact that the crimes of Glen Simon are being erased by the federal government. We can do that. You can tell contract in feature theta using the space-time travel communication coordinate number 5971, 59-71, and that would be A5, A9, A7, and A1. All right, let's go back up. Simon. All right, here we are. Let's see if there are any other Simons. Nina Simone. There's Simon House and Simon King. That's 2 Simons. That might be a way to go. Let's try that one, and then we can move on to some other things. That's Simon. That's an interesting one. Let's try the 2 Simons. Simon and Simon. I think that was a television show back in the 80s. Simon and Simon. And in the opening scene, they use the UCSD, which is another acronym, stands for University of California at San Diego Library Building, because it looks like a spaceship. Clock, space, and time. A minor jam session. I don't know if that's really gonna work. A minor jam session. No, I wouldn't go for that one. Let's see what else we've got going here. Let's see. That's 2 Simons. That might be too many Simons. That might be one too many Simon. Try this one. Jack of Shadows. PXR5. This might start to get a little too complex. This is another acronym, sort of acronym, I suppose. It's got a 5 in there. That could be an E, I suppose, or something else. I'm not quite sure about this one. Let's ignore that. We want to make sure that the message is clear. That doesn't seem very clear. Let's go back. Alright, so I think we've exhausted the possibilities of all the Simons. Yeah, the ones that make the clear ones. Oh, here's another one. American Tune featuring Paul Simon, Willie Nelson. I'm not sure that's gonna really do it. Let's try something else. Let's try Glen. Alright, Glen. Now see, that's not really Glen-y. I don't know, Fred and Glen. I'm not sure that's really a Glen that's gonna get us very far. This one. Let's see. Glen. Really. Awakening. No. That's right. Because they're the opposite of awake, aren't they? They hate the woke. Let's see this one. See if this one has a Glen. Fred Trio. Bones to pick with graveyards. Will that work? I don't know. This is a question we have to ask ourselves. If we give a contract in V2 theta a space-time coordinate. The other problem here is this Glen has an extra n. Let's reject that based on the extra n. But the problem is, if we give a contract in V2 theta the space-time travel communication coordinate that references bones to pick with graveyards, will he understand that is a reference to Glen Simon? It seems like a long shot. So let's reject that one. Let's see. So here's a Glen, and it's spelled the same way, and so any of these would work. So let's take a look and see if we can get any of these. Waiting, incantation, the return one, window, awakening. We didn't like the awakening one. Now, any of these have the word Simon? No, I don't see Simon, and it's not so obvious that we're gonna get there with that. Sorry, Glen. All right, let's go back. There's another Glen-y. We don't want that one. See if there's anything else. George Clinton, Glen with an N. Nope, we rejected the Glens with the N's. But let's just see, just in case if there's anything in there. Handcuffs. Oh, even though there's an extra N, handcuffs. That might work. Okay, mothership connection, handcuffs. So if you want to use George Clinton Glen with an extra N and refer to Glen Simon in handcuffs, because of course he was in handcuffs when they arrested him and prosecuted. Well, maybe not when they prosecuted him, but when they arrested him for violence and terrorism and insurrection and destruction of property and harming police officers, he was in handcuffs. All right. So if we want to reference this one, we go to the Parliament, Funk It Out, and Friends playlist. So let's go ahead and do that. And remember, we're looking for handcuffs. All right. So. 36. 72. 72 plus 36, 108. Oh, yeah, very convenient. 108 plus 1, 109, and remember, we have to change that to 106, so this is the even more complex space-time telecommunication coordinate set, and it is 106, because it was 109, remember? So, 109, and let's figure out where it is. And we're looking for handcuffs to place on Glen Simon. Let's look at that. What was that album again? Oh, well, I'm not sure. We'll just look for handcuffs. That's 36. Unless I missed it already. 72. Oh, no. Sorry. Let's go back. I had the wrong numbers. These are sets of 18, not sets of 36. Let's try it again. All right, so. $36. $54. $72. $72 plus 18 is 90. 90. There they are. I found handcuffs to put on Glen Simon. Okay, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 97. So the next number is 97, and that, of course, becomes within our grammar of x 6 was 9 and 9 was 6. 67. So the number we're looking for here, and again, once again, remembering that zeros are hard to reach, we have 106-67. So perhaps 10, 6, 6, 7. 10, 6, 6, 7 would be a way to communicate to a contract MP3 data that we have to record for the American Cultural Memory and or Tradition Department, Complaint Department. I think I said that backwards, as in chiasm. But the American Cultural Tradition and or Cultural Memory Complaint Department needs a contract MP3 data to understand that we would like him to record for posterity the fact that Glen Simon assaulted the Capitol, and this is being erased by our current government. 106-67. That's of course the complex. No, that's even more. No. Yes, that's the even more complex space-time travel communication coordinate 106-67, and the way that you would do that is 10, 6, and then 6, and then 7. Very good. All right. Let's see if there's any other ways we can do it. Okay. So, all right. Let's try this. Okay. So, let's try this one. All right. Let's do this. Glen Simon. We're an anagram generator. We're going to generate all of the words that are anagrams for Glen Simon, and see if we can find a space-time travel communication coordinate that refers to one of those anagrams. All right, so mingle numbers. I don't think there is a space-time travel communication coordinate that mingles numbers, but let's go ahead and see. So type that in. Let's go ahead and see. Mingle. First, let's see if there's mingle. Mingle, massacre. That's pretty close. Let's see. Let's see if there's any references to numbers. Mingle numbers. There's, of course, that could also be on S, or no S, or sun, or something like that. Let's see. Let's see if there's any. Mingle. Anything else in there that's going to help us? I don't know if this is going to be enough. Mingle. I don't think that's going to be enough. Let's go back. All right. Mingle sun. Yes, like I said. Mingle's on. Well, no, probably not. Gnome. There is probably a gnome. Let's see if that's going to work. Gnome. The gnome. All right. We have a few options with the gnome. Let's see what they are. All right. So let's go ahead and try the gnome. Does anybody remember the lyrics to the gnome? Let's go ahead and look that up. All right. So looking up the lyrics to Sid Barrett's The Gnome. Sid Barrett. Lyrics. The gnome lyrics. All right, let's go ahead and see what they are. It's going to work. I want to tell you a story about about a little man. Oh, this might work. This might work. He's a little man. He wants us to be afraid. The sign that someone is a little man is they want you to be afraid. We can get into that later. Oh, here, let's see. A man and boy. That's interesting thing. So about a little man. If I can, a gnome named Grimble Grumble, and little gnomes stay in their homes, eating, sleeping, drinking their wine. Okay. He wore a scarlet tunic, blue-green hood. It looked quite good. He had a big adventure amidst the grass, fresh air at last. I guess that could be a satire on the fresh air outside the insurrection at the Capitol building. Whining, dining, biding his time, and then one day, hooray! Another way for gnomes to say, ooh, my! Look at the sky, look at the river, isn't it good, isn't it? I'm not sure this is going to really take us anywhere. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's try Radio Gnome, Invisible. Alright, let's see if on a gnome there's anything that's going to take us to Glen Simon. Flying Teapot, Pothead Pixies, the Octave Doctors, and the Crystal Machine, Zero the Hero, and the Wish's Spell. No, I'm not seeing anything good here. Eat that phone book, interesting. What's what? Master Builder, Perfect Mystery. Not seeing a lot here. Okay, let's go back. Any other gnomes? That's all I know. Okay, gnomes not going to take us too far. Let's go back to the, alright, let's see what we got. Gnomes, no. Gun, hymns, no. Linen, smog, I don't think they need that. Elm, nosing, melon, gins, melon sign. Let's see if there's a melon. I don't think we have any melons in our playlist. Let's try. No results for melon in your playlist. That won't work. Okay. Let's see. Lemon gins. I don't think there's any of that in the place either. Longs. So therefore, long minds. Okay. So I have an idea for this one. Okay. So long minds. That's a lot. Long minds sounds a lot like long lines. So let's see if there's a long lines. Long lines. Long lines. Unfortunately, no results for long lines in your library. Alright, therefore, that won't work. Let's go on. Let's see what we can do here. Omen sling. Let's see if there's an omen. You know, we could use tubular bells, but that's really a reference to The Exorcist, not the Omen. So that probably won't work. But let's see if there's any Omen. Omen, Gil Scott-Heron. Okay, and let's see. What was that? Omen slings. Omen, sing. Let's go ahead and look up the lyrics to Gil Scott-Heron, Omen, and see if that might work. All right, so let's the easy way to do this is just hit this and replace this. The revolution will not be televised with Omen. Alright, let's check this out. Oops, excuse me, that ad is a little bit offensive. Try to avoid that. We'd like to do a poem that was inspired by a still life in the subway that was a commercial for a movie called The Green Slime, and we call this poem Omen. A giant eye zapped across the screen with tentacle type, feeler type, thin roots, searching for someone, maybe me, with large black block letters chiseled into the white around the people screaming, revolution! Actually, we should spell it out. R-E-V-O-L-U-T-I-O-N, revolution. As the eye, giant and green, sort of oozed with no obvious locomotion. Closer and closer until it was like this on my screen. It split, and blood flowed down each side of the street, washing away things that we didn't need to see. Oh, I like that. Washing away things that we didn't need to see, because they're whitewashing our brains, right? And erasing our cultural memory! Just like beer cans, pinchas. Get the point? Oh, I like this one. And then lying there being like a stuck pig was a stuck pig. Whatever that might mean. Well, it's I suppose, the irony here is that, and it is, quite an irony, when someone like Gil Scott-Heron, or the Panthers, I'm referring to, of course, the Black Panthers, not the White Panthers, or the Grey Panthers, or the Red Panthers, but the Black Panthers, when someone like Gil Scott-Heron, or the Black Panthers, or Angela Davis calls for revolution because their people are being murdered, then there's a lot of backlash and violence directed at any particular community who calls for such change of things. And however, when it's individuals who are on the alt-right and fascist white minority who do so, it's condoned by the federal government. And I guess the irony in this, and the fact that it ends with a pig reading like a stuck pig would sort of point to the disparity, right, between the cultural justice of these racist, terrorist, violent criminals that stormed the Capitol and destroyed property and hurt police officers on January 6, 2021, and the way that the FBI targeted groups of radical revolutionary African Americans, such as the Black Panthers, but not only the Black Panthers. Certainly the Nation of Islam as well. How that irony is being played out today. So I like this one. So this poem is called Omen, and it's in the Gil Scott-Heron playlist. So let's go ahead and locate the Gil Scott-Heron playlist that contains Omen. All right. So let's see. Do we have a? We might. This might be a rationale for creating a complex, or rather, even more complex space-time travel communication coordinate set titled Gil Scott-Heron. Let's consider that possibility. Oh, let's just go ahead and do it. I don't think a contract in PSftACT will mind that we took the initiative here. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So we're going to make a new smart, because it's an even more complex and therefore smart playlist. And it's going to be under artist, Gil. Oh yeah, it did force. It just filled it right in. And there we go. And I don't think Gil Scott-Heron is in any of the other records that we have that we need to find other examples of his work in other artists' albums. So I think this is going to do it. Now, how do we want to arrange this? Let's see if we arrange it by year, what it'll give us. Oh, here we go. So this will be fine. So this is the new playlist. So this in addition to being a discourse on how to communicate within space-time travel communication coordinate sets, is also an adjustment of space-time travel communication coordinate sets. And as such, this is the new even more complex Gil Scott-Heron playlist. And here we go. I'm going to scroll down so that you can see what's in this list. Here we are, Pieces of a Man. Pieces of a Man. And then we have Small Talk at 25th and Linux. And then what's next? What's coming next? Free Will. Free Will is the next one. After that, I think there's only a few more. Free Will, and then we're new again, a reimagining by Micaiah McRaven. Very good. Okay, and so we were looking for Omen. Let's see if we can find it. That is Omen. All right, so position is correct. Oh, we can just count that out. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So the second number is going to be 13. This is, of course, the new, even more complex Gil Scott-Heron playlist. So the second number is 13. Now we have to figure out where this exists in the even more complex playlist set of sets. So here we go. 36. Is this positioned correctly? Maybe we'll make sure we position correctly here. 36. Wait a minute. Right. 36. 72. Oh, I went too far. No. Yeah, I went too far. Let's go back. Alright then. 36. And there's Mr. Gil Scott-Heron right there. So 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 50. The number is 50. It's an even more complex space-time travel communication coordinate set. So if you want to communicate to a contract in PSftACT, the irony, right? The irony of the hostility and the aggression and the way that Hoover, right? Hoover. You want to look up Edward Hoover? Let's look up Edward Hoover. And how he addressed the Panthers versus the way that the current FBI and CIA are dealing with white folks who kill police. Let's look at that. J. Edgar Hoover. That's J. Edgar Hoover. Let's look up J. Edgar Hoover and the Black Panthers. And the number, if you wanted to communicate that irony to a contract in PSftACT, would be even more complex space-time travel communication coordinate, number 5013. Okay, so let's go. Let's look up J. Edgar Hoover and the Black Panthers. J. Edgar Hoover. And I don't know if we need the and, but let's just go ahead and put it in there anyway. And Herbert Hoover related. No, J. Edgar Hoover and Milk. Not interested. And Shirley Temple. Weird. Let's just stick with the Black Panthers. I don't want to get into whether or not J. Edgar Hoover was a pedophile. Let's see. And Black Panthers. This is, of course, the organization of the Black Panthers, not the animal. let's see what it says here. Well, so unlike our current directors of the CIA and the FBI, who don't seem to think that the January 6th insurrectionists are the, without question, greatest threat to the internal security of the country, in 1968, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover said the Black Panther Party, without question, represents the greatest threat to the internal security of the country. So, you see, the irony here is, of course, like, who's doing the insurrectioning? And if it happens to be black folks, it's really bad, but if it happens to be white folks, the records get expunged. Here's something from NPR, which, as you recall, we confused with PBS, but we did so to point to, perhaps, the fact that PBS erased their DEI. All these acronyms are hard to keep track of, aren't they? The Black Panthers could just be the BP. BP. I get that now. PBS. Okay, here we go. This is the real Black Panthers 2021. If you want to do more research on this, you can check out that film. There's the quote from J. Edgar Hoover. More reading material. And let's see what we have here. We're not going to listen to the whole thing. Oh, are we on?
Support for NPR and the following message come from Universal Pictures with DreamWorks Animation's The Wild Robot, nominated for 3 Academy Awards.
Wow, a lot of ads. There used to not be so many ads.
Animated feature, now playing in theaters and available to watch at home on Peacock. I have such a vivid memory of Forrest Gump. I just rented an apartment and there was a local theater, and I just went to see whatever movie was playing, and it happened to be Forrest Gump.
I'm not really sure what Forrest Gump has to do with the real Black Panthers.
It was a crowded theater, but I was sitting right in the center because I really like to have optimal viewing. And I just thought the film was horrifying from start to finish.
There we go.
Now, when I was a baby, Mama named me after the great Civil War hero, General Nathan Bedford Forrest.
Including with the prologue, in which Tom Hanks explains that his name is Forrest Gump because he's been named after Nathan Bedford Forrest,
The first Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. They'd all dress up in their robes and their bed sheets and act like a bunch of ghosts.
Forrest Gump is a satire, almost of, like historical materialism. It's him passing through the American past, importantly starting with the founding of the Klan.
Jenny and me were just like peas and carrots again. She showed me around and even introduced me to some of her new friends.
Shut that blonde man and get your white ass away from that window. Don't you know we're in a war here? It was horrendous on so many levels, but the Panther scene to me was just almost unbearable.
Our purpose here is to protect our black leaders from the racial onslaught of the pig who wishes to brutalize our black leaders, rape our women, and destroy our black communities.
This image of black militants who are rabidly anti-white and irrational. And it contains really all of the myths of the Black Panther Party. I was so infuriated by it, I actually got up in this crowded theater after the Panther scene and walked out. And I had to say, excuse me, in this super crowded, packed theater. My name is Donna Murch, and I am Associate Professor of History at Rutgers University, New Brunswick. I teach historical methods in the history department through teaching a class on the Black Panther Party, and I teach it usually once or twice a year. And when I ask the students at the beginning of the semester what they know about the Panthers, Forrest Gump is the thing that they most often cite. And what that does is, it does exactly...
Okay, I think we figured this out. So this is another way, and this intellectual and this scholar is pointing out the way that Hollywood and conservatism and is another way of erasing and eroding and what's the word I want to use? Distorting and there's another word that I want to use, but I'm forgetting what that word is. Transmogrifying the American cultural memory and producing an image of as seen through the white imaginary, the white male imaginary, right? The fear of the other, so I understand now, why we were directed to this particular. At first I couldn't figure out why we were talking about Forrest Gump, and now because I've never seen the movie Forrest Gump, because stuff like that don't interest me. But now I see why we were directed here, and again, this has everything to do with the American cultural memory and the way that it is systematically distorted and due to prejudices and fear, and we recall that we are dealing with someone whose name happens to be, yes, that's correct, Glen Simon, who, quoting him, this is what a revolution looks like. It's funny, it looked a lot different to the Black Panthers, didn't it? It looked like handing out, food for children. It looked like doing community service. These guys, I don't think they do any community service. Do these guys feed the kids and take care of them so the parents can go to work? And do they look out for the community and make sure there's no violence going on? No, it's just the opposite, isn't it? Anyway, so this is what a revolution looks like. This is what, this is the cruel revolution, right? This isn't like the kind, loving revolution that was propounded by the Panthers. Do the research. I'm not gonna do it here. We're really running out put a lot of time here already. And we gotta show these F asterisk 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 asterisks. We ain't F asterisk 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 around. It's the only way to get it done. Fear, right? And so fear is another way of distorting, transmogrifying, bending, distorting the American cultural memory and what being an American actually stands for. And it's done here, through violence and insurrection and threat and all that stuff. And then it's also done here, right? In Forrest Gump. It's done in Forrest Gump through the production of these images that have nothing to do with the cultural reality of what the Black Panther Party was really about, and the work they did in communities, and the service they did for African American communities, which lacked resources, and they provided those resources. And so I understand why we got here, and I understand why, and this is what I expose. This is all about why a contract in phi through theta really needs to make a record of this, because we're against fear. Very much so. So, again, if you want to use, I'm sort of going in favor of the Gil Scott-Heron playlist, which we just put up an even more complex Gil Scott-Heron playlist, and that is, of course, the number on that one would be 50-13. And as we discussed before, it's very hard to get those zeros in there, so you have to go to, probably have to put 5, right? You have to put 5, and then, well, let's see, how would you do this? This is a difficult number to get. You could use 50. You maybe choose 50, right? 5, 0, 50. And another way to represent 50, by the way. Okay, so say that you don't want to hit click, 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 and listen to Gil Scott-Heron or whatever it is, whatever video that you're looking at. Suppose you don't want to listen to it 50 times. Okay, so how would we represent 50 in a smaller number? Well, okay, so suppose we use Roman numbers, okay, to represent 50. And remember, we're getting at we're trying to form contract in phi through theta that they need to make some work that records for the American cultural memory the events that Glen Simon was involved with, and his violence, and how his records are being expunged. The opposite of J. Edgar Hoover, right? It's the very opposite of J. Edgar Hoover. And we need to represent 50. Okay, so if you use the Roman letter L, right? Then you can do that. So how do we get L in space-time travel communicated coordinate sets? Well, the way you do it is you transform it into a BRE number or letter, and because letters and numbers are reversed in BRE systems. So that's L is 12. So 12. So this is another way to do it. If you want to refer to the Gil Scott-Heron playlist, 12, 1, 3. So the 1 could be a 1, and the 3 could be a 3, or the 1 could be, or the 1, 3 could be 13. So 1, 2, 13. Or 1, 2, 1, 3. So, or 12, 1, 3. Or 12, 13. So that's a lot of different ways of getting there, and that are simpler than going click, 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 click. You want to count it out 50 times? Let's try it. Let's see how many times would you have to view something to get to that playlist if you didn't convert the 50 into an L. Let's click it out. Click, 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 click. 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 Click, 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 click. Click, 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 click. I think that was more or less it. I might have missed 1 or 2 or gone overboard, but that's a lot of tweaking. So I would suggest using the L, which is, of course, 12. So that's even more space-time travel communication coordinates at 12 or 50. You might want to communicate in some means prior to the 12, 50. I don't know how you might do that, but that we're using the Latin system of numerical values, and therefore that 50 is represented by the letter L. All right, this is, let's go back to me. Hold on 1 second. There I am. Going back to me. This is me, Turkey, signing out for now. Once again, I'm eager to see your responses. Thank you very much for listening. Have a good day. This is Turkey. Bye-bye.